Oh my gosh, today has been, there just aren't words for how today has been. Wow. Hello and welcome to some episode or other, I've got no idea, it will say down in the description, of the Tales from the Midnight Diary. My name's Gemma and I'm coming to you this lovely sunny evening in February from my home in Kent, where I live with my husband and my animals and my son. Live but not sleep, apparently. Sleep is not a thing right now. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. And thank you for your patience. For those of you who don't know, I have the Midnight Diary, which is the hand-dyed yarn company. And for the last coming up 4.5 years, I've been periodically, erratically, inconsistently talking about the things I make here on my YouTube channel. I also record the odd tutorials and make grand plans and promises that I never keep. Which reminds me of the Cogsworth in Beauty and the Beast, if any of you have seen that. But oh my gosh, today is Sunday. I had the best laid plans of mice and men. And as we know, the best laid plans of mice and men, how they go. Oh, wow. But anyway, I'm here. It was going to be great. I was going to have great lighting. I was going to be, you know, clean. I mean, I'm clean, but I was going to wash my hair. I bought new makeup. I was going to be super, super profesh this time. I should know that any time I set out to do something like that, it goes wrong. It goes wrong. Anyway, let's settle in. I have coffee. I have Costa coffee from an actual Costa. Robin had his first baby chino this afternoon, which is a ridiculous name for something that's actually a really good idea. But there we are. Believe me, that coffee is needed. So, there we go. Oh, that hurt. I will get into like all the life stuff in a bit, for those of you who are interested in my chaotic, calamitic life. I think I might have made up a word there. I don't think calamitic is a word, but I quite like the sound of it. I think calamitous might be the one, but there we are. So, you know, I've got a new notebook to do podcast notes in. Didn't get that done. And I've got 3 giant bags of whips beside me. So something's gone a bit squiffy. I have continued to finish things. I can't remember where I was with finishing things when I last podcast. I think I just had a run of finishes, and I was resisting casting on. And things have gone a bit wrong since then. I think it's the way I craft is kind of a reflection of my state of mind. Do any of you find that? Does that happen to you? And my mind is all over the place right now. All over the place. Hey, baby. Hey, puppy. Puppy's not happy. I said puppy, he's nearly 4. Dog isn't happy with me at the moment because we've been out all afternoon and Sunday's our family day, which is usually with Magnus, isn't it? Are you coming up? Come say hi. Hello. There we go. Here's my ridiculous hound. Hello. You're ridiculous. Are you? You're ridiculous. And I love you. You stinky. Are you stinky dog? Go on, off you go. Good boy. So, I've been trying really hard to finish things. I have no idea what I said in the intro now, but basically I knit, I sew, I crochet, I bake, I design patterns, which 9 times out of 10 never come out because who's got time? I dye yarn, that's what the Midnight Diary is, and turn up here and chat nonsense for an hour or so every so often. But here we are. So, no finishes since last time. I have been working really hard to finish things, and my whip level had definitely decreased. Whips being works in progress if you're new to the lingo. I've got no idea. I haven't taken time to sit and sort of audit. Oi! I haven't taken time to sit and audit what I've finished, what I've started. I've just thought there's a tiny bit of light left. I'm going to sit in a different corner of the room and chat to you. So here we are. So let's get on with works in progress. First of all, these are the William leggings, which I'm making for my son. And as you can see, the legs are done. Last time I spoke to you, I was about that far up the second leg. So I have done quite a lot since I saw you. I took this with me to Devon for a week. More of that in life stuff. But I only took 2 projects with me when I went to Devon for the week, which was very, very monogamous of me. I'd promised to pack light. So the William leggings got the love that I was able to give. And I've been working on them since. So you can see I've joined the legs and I'm working up the kind of the crotch now. And that's got to be 17 centimetres. So I've got a little way to go. I think I'm about 10. So I'm just over halfway there. And you just carry on the cable pattern up the side. So the pattern is from West Yorkshire Spinners, which is one of my favourite British companies. I find their yarns to be at quite an accessible price point for natural fibres. They're not the cheapest, of course, in the world, but but for natural fibres, they're pretty good. This is from a book called Pure, which was designed for babies up to about 3 years old, 2 or 3 years old. And I am doing the width of the 3rd size, or the penultimate. I'm doing the width of the penultimate size, but the length of the ultimate size of the final size, because this has taken a bit longer than I was expecting. I started these back in November when my son was just turning 1, and he's got quite long legs, but these should fit him nicely. And it's a really nice simple cable pattern up the side, some simple shaping. I say simple, I managed to totally screw up. I didn't realise, I didn't read the pattern properly, and you're meant to switch the cable round. So the cable on the left leg leans one way and the cable on the right leg leans the other way. So they look the same, like when you've actually got them on. Didn't do that. So yeah, never mind. I'm going to have cute little turn-ups and a little waistband, and I'm ready for these to be done. I'm not using the Pure wool, which is pure merino, that West Yorkshire Spinners market for their baby yarn. I'm using the next one down, the more economical one, which is Bo Peep Luxury Baby DK, and it is so soft. It's 48% nylon and 52% merino. It's machine washable, and yeah, it knits up beautifully. It's really soft, and obviously my tension's changed a bit over the time. You can see where I've twisted some stitches when I've been undoing something. I dropped a stitch in the cable, so I've had to drop down and fix that. I don't think you can see where I did that though, so I'm going to call that a win. Yeah, I'm just ready for these to be done, and for him to wear them, although whether he will be able to wear them or not now needs to be seen. So yeah, I've used 3 balls I think so far of this yarn, which is, whoops, now on the floor, which is the Bo Peep, and this is the teddy bear colourway, which is a nice kind of grey brown. In some lights it looks almost grey, in some lights it looks more brown, but it's quite a nice soft colour, kind of a latte colour. There we are. So that's that, working on getting those finished. And then we have a hoe, or an almost faux, I should say. Let's see. So the other project that I took with me to Devon thinking I could finish quite quickly were my son's next pair of socks. Now these are too big, but I keep finishing socks and they fit perfectly, and then he grows, and yeah, I mean, he's growing like a weed at the moment. So this is in the My First Regia yarn, which is a collaboration with Patons, I think, pretty sure. Patons based on My First Regia, and it's a self-patterning yarn. I now cast on 48 stitches for Robin's leg, because babies' leg widths are out of proportion to their feet length, in comparison to being an adult. Anyway, standard construction, heel flap and gusset. I'm trying to do the maths to work out like the best ratios for little baby feet, and I'll try and put that as a downloadable file, perhaps, if I can. So the thing is, it takes more than one 25-gram ball of yarn to make a pair of socks for my son now, because he's getting that much bigger and longer in the foot. I mean, to be fair, these are really too long. And I got this far into the other sock, which now I'm looking at it looks shorter. No, it's not. Okay, so I got this far into the other sock. Obviously they're going to be sisters, not twins, or brothers, not twins. And I ran out of yarn, so I've got another ball from the shop I work at, the Yarn Dispensary, but I ordered it too late for it to be posted out to me when I was in Devon, so I thought I was fine, I'll wait and pick it up when I get to work. But the gap between that sock being not finished, or me stopping work on that sock and being able to continue work, was too long, and there was also a park trip, and I was just like, you know, I need to cast on a new sock. So that is now on waste yarn, as you can see. Stitches being held beautifully there, ready to be picked up and finished. I've only got a bit of the foot and toe to do, so I mean, in theory I could probably do that tonight. However, I cast on something new, and oh, there's the yarn, the next ball of yarn. Where's my cast on? Let's see if I can find it. Is it in here? I thought it was. Oh, did I ever show you these finished? Because I never got them in the post because of the whole life stuff that I was talking about, alluding to. Hang on. Did I show you that I'd finished my dad's socks from Hippin Yarns in the double knit? I mean, obviously I still haven't woven the ends in. I really like these. I really like them. Although, are you ready for scandal? So long-term viewers of the podcast will know that I started off not being as generous as it might sound. I started off by making my dad a pair of socks for a joke. There was a colourway called Rum Paradise from, pretty sure it's Rum Paradise, yeah, from West Yorkshire Spinners, and it's basically a bright rainbow. And I just thought that would be a great kind of joke gift for my dad, because he tucks his trousers into his socks when he rides his bike. He loves them. So I've basically been knitting him socks since. And the joke is now entirely on me because his feet are much bigger than mine, and one pair of his socks would basically be the same as knitting a pair of my socks. So one of his socks would be the same as knitting a pair of my socks. So yeah, joke's on me. But I was talking to him about a new yarn I'd picked up in a little yarn shop I visited when I was in Devon, and I said, oh, it's a different blend, so it's wool, bamboo and nylon, and we haven't had one with bamboo. And he went, oh, I can't wear nylon. I said, excuse me, what now? What? Yeah, you can. No, I can't wear nylon. No, please don't make me anything with nylon in. And I just yeah, sure. You sure? I think you can wear nylon, Dad. No, I can't wear nylon. Right. So the socks that I've been knitting you, that you love, and you've been wearing, yes, they've got nylon in. And there was just this pause on the end of the phone while he sort of processed this. And I was like, Dad, you're not going to suddenly start having adverse effects because of these socks that you've been wearing for a year or so, are you? And he said, well, just you know, nothing more than that. So he said, well, could you just make me pure wool ones in future? I was like, well, apart from the fact that I've built up a collection of this yarn in colourways that you've chosen, and it's all waiting to be knit up into socks for you, we could look at that, yeah. He's got his Fibre Punk ones. He really likes those. They're really, really soft, and obviously because that's hand-dyed merino and nylon, and I believe it is merino nylon, whereas I believe the West Yorkshire Spinners is Blue Faced Leicester, which is slightly more rustic. It's only slight, still super soft. But this is Hippin Yarns merino nylon in double knitting, which would be super cozy. So yeah, that was a whole conversation I wasn't expecting. So I said to Dad, look, I'll make them for you. If you don't like them, please don't wear them. Just send them back to me, or give them to your brother-in-law or something. Or someone you think will enjoy them, because I would rather know and not make things for you that just aren't right. Because it does take a lot of time and love to knit socks, doesn't it? But yeah, so anyway, these flew off the needles. I love them. And now I'm back, and I would say healthy, but I'm not healthy at all. I am going to get these in the post. But there are 2 of them. I just can't find the other one. Right, on to my next cast on. I think it's actually in here. So we had an unplanned trip to A&E just now. I mean, does anyone plan a trip to A&E? I don't think so. Right, here we go. Are you prepared? Right, now, be prepared to be amazed. Show me your amazed face. Practice it for me. Show me how impressed you're going to be when I show you this. I have only ever knit socks cuff down. Well, ladies, gentlemen, and other beings, girls and boys and toys, to quote Mr. Tumble, I present to you my first ever toe up sock. I am so ridiculously pleased with this, but just, I'll try and get some B-roll if this isn't clear enough, but just look at that. Look at that toe. It is so smooth. You cannot tell there's a cast on there at all. How that works, I have absolutely no idea. It literally is magic. I was desperate to knit a sock. We were going to the park when the day after I got back from Devon. We decided to go to the park, give the dog a run, let Robin play in the kiddie play area, because between the trip to the park on the Saturday and now this is the Sunday after, you know. 8 days later, Robin can now walk completely independently, and we thought it would be fun to take him back to the park and see what he can do now himself. I still wasn't well enough to get involved in the park with him, so I thought I'd cast on a sock. And so I photographed the pattern number 1, which is called Intersections, from the 52 Weeks of Socks published by Liner. I photographed that and I thought, right, I'll take that with me and cast that on. Got the ball of yarn. This is Cornflower, I want to say, from West Yorkshire Spinners, so signature 4-ply. It's got some nylon. And I'm using my normal method of 2 circular needles. I use 2 40cm. I always used to use the Symphonies, but when I was teaching my sock structure course in November, for some reason I used the Zings, and I really love them. I really love them. I mean, obviously other brands are available than Knit Pro. I really want to try the ChiaoGoo next, because I just think the feel is amazing of them in your hands. But I don't want to try them for socks. Yeah, I can't remember who this pattern is by, but I'll put it down below or on the screen or something, depending how editing goes. And it's just really simple 4-stitch cable twist. Leaning in different directions is ever so clever, and it will come up with a really pretty pattern at the end of it. So I'm doing the smallest size, and yeah, I'm just so chuffed. I'm glad you can still try it on. I'm not sure where to stop for the heel, but that's the new cast on. Right, another new cast on. This one's ever so simple, and I thought it would fly off the needles, but it hasn't really, because I haven't had a chance to work on it, is this yarn here, which is Rowan Felted Tweed colour. And can you see, it actually changes colour. So it starts off this deep, dark, moody blue, somewhere between like a mid blue and a navy, and it gradually lightens up into the greens and then into these bright teals in the middle. And we're having a textures in turquoise window for this coming week, so I don't know what I was thinking. I got my friend to cast this on for me on the 10th of February because she came to hang out and have a cup of tea at the shop, and I said, come on. But the sock social wasn't on that she was expecting. I said, well, why don't you hang out and have coffee now, and we'll knit. And she didn't have anything with her, so I chucked her a ball of this to play with, and between us we've done not much, and the colour changes are only just starting, so I don't know if this will really be sufficient for what I need. Certainly not for the window, but it's just garter stitch. It's nice and soothing, really soothing actually. It's quite nice working in garter stitch, doing something simple. And yeah, I know some people can be a bit bit funny about garter stitch, because there's so many other things that, I mean, it's the first thing you learn to do when you knit every row, and so there's almost a sense of it being a bit basic, but the squish factor in garter stitch is just second to none. I think brioche probably, from what I've seen, might be, you know, the thing to top it. But for mindless TV knitting, for just pick up and do a few stitches while you're chatting, for soothing your soul when you need it, garter stitch, it's sometimes all I can cope with. And same with like a vanilla sock, just going round and round and round. And actually, as much as I'm enjoying that sock that I cast on Sunday, so that's a week ago, I haven't done that much of it because it's a new construction, but also it's a pattern sock. But yeah, excitingly, there's a volume 2 coming out in a couple of weeks, and yours truly is going to be stocking it, so very excited about that. I'm just trying to sort out the conversion to pay liner, because obviously they quote in euros, and it's just, I've never done it before, so it's a bit of a headache. But they're really sweet and really helpful. And Auntie, I think she's called, in the office is just, or he, I don't know actually, or they, is actually really supportive and helpful, and you know, whether or not they're rolling their eyes at their computer screen going, oh, here's this idiot again, I don't know. But yeah, so I'm loving it. I'm like working with the felted tweed. It's like a double knitting weight, kind of. Rowan don't tend to do straight yarn sizes. They do some. It's like some are like DK, alpaca soft DK. Some are like 4-ply. They are straight sizes, but the rest of them they don't, and it's really frustrating because I could sell so much more of it if I could just categorise it on my website, you know. But there we are. It's because they want you to use their yarns for their patterns, which I guess makes sense, but yeah, hey ho. Onto another argument for another day. So yeah, this is just garter stitch, and now I'm chatting to you, waffling on, and knitting a couple of rows as well. It is so pretty though, and flecky and gorgeous, and I was thinking that this colour change is very subtle, but I think it would look really cool in like a boxy sweater by Joji Locatelli, or a Advent wrap thing by Amber O'Brien. I think she's got, is it her one, or Advent Cardi? And that would be really nice. I was looking at the Advent Cardi pattern. I almost pulled out my habitation throw that I've started in my For the Love of Yarn advent calendar, because I just thought, how gorgeous would that cardigan be? But I thought, no, come on, you're doing the throw and that's tough enough. You're never going to finish a cardigan. I know I'm going to get an advent calendar this year. I've already decided I'm going to save up and treat myself to one. It's just choosing which one and then hoping that I can get there on time and order before they all sell out. So yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's best for me if I can pay in instalments. So the one I really want, that I think, well, the one I think I'm going to go for, I don't know if that die is going to do payment instalments, which might rule it out of me for this year. And I might have to go with something else. But it was joyous having an advent calendar. And they are quite an investment, but they're really worth it because there's so much work that goes into them, and just the joy of opening those little windows every day and then producing something special that's like a memory of the run up to that particular Christmas. That's pretty cool. And obviously I die advents as well. Do you know what I didn't do? I didn't keep an advent for myself. Isn't that silly? So silly. So silly. Tell I've been watching Miss Rachel. Yeah, so I'm going to stop knitting now and stop waffling, but you can just see the colour changes starting to come in, and I just think that would look so gorgeous in like a boxy. Yeah, I mean, it would make it quite dear because it's something like £13 a ball. You don't get a lot, but that ombre kind of colour change is really exciting because you don't get that very often in natural fibre yarns. It tends to come more in acrylics. Okay, what else have I got to show you? That's kind of acquisitions. That's needle adjacent. This one. Okay, so maybe it's not as bad as I thought then. Maybe I don't have as much on the go as I thought. This is my Zuma cushion cover that I'm doing. Look at all those ends. It's a nightmare. I stopped weaving them in at some point. I don't know why. I went through a patch of weaving them in as I went. Can you see? There's like a gap where I was weaving them in. It looks quite cute on the back. But yeah, I just stopped. So I am at the halfway point now of my cushion cover. This was cast on. It's so squishy. It's garter stitch as well. This is West Yorkshire Spinners Super Chunky Roving. I certainly wouldn't want to go any chunkier with a roving yarn because I think it would just disintegrate. But this Super Chunky is pretty good. I cast it on because I was feeling miserable and I needed a quick win, and this always happens. I don't know why I do it to myself. I say, oh, you know, I'll just cast that on because it'll be done in a couple of days, it won't take me long, and this is it 3 weeks later. I was having a tough week and I thought I just needed something simple and soothing and comforting to work on, and this is it. And it really is. I mean, just look at that squish. It's just boing, boing. And it's lovely. It's not the cheapest project in the world. This is a striped cushion cover. I should have probably done something plain as well, but because this uses 4 colours, and that's £56 for a cushion cover, which is a lot. Because they're £14 a ball, and you need 4 balls, and it's 200 grams a ball, but it's super chunky. So anyway, I'm really enjoying it. I was following the pattern and I found the stripe repeat quite difficult. So then what I did, I don't know why I didn't do this way before, there's 4 colours. So you've got A, B, C, D, and it's say like 1 row of A, join in B, work 2 rows in B, 2 rows in C, 8 rows in D. What I've finally figured out to do today at coffee morning was actually write it out. So for A, B, B, C, C, D, 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 B, B, A, C, and I'm just going to follow it along like that, and that seems to have done. I don't know if you heard that, but I think someone's got a goal. My next door neighbour gets well into the football or rugby or whatever's on at the moment. Yeah, so that's that. So actually, I don't think it's that bad. I've got some acquisitions, but I think I might wait and talk about those next time. Because I'm not sure how much time I've got left on the recording, and also I've got to do Robin's dinner, and yeah, what a day it has been, what a week it's been. So I've just snuck a peek at the timer and I've got 8 minutes, so I'll try not to waffle on too long, but I'm definitely going to leave acquisitions for next time. So yeah, what's going on? So much is going on. There's big changes at work. We're doing like a whole restructure thing, because I have news about that. Some of you I think know already, but a lot of you won't know what's going on there, but I will talk to you about that properly next time. And the main thing is that I've really not been well since I got COVID in November. I don't think I've got long COVID. What I do think is that my immune system has just been trashed. I don't know fully how it all works, but I seem to be getting everything that's going around since I had COVID. I didn't catch it at all in the 3 years. It was almost 3 years that I didn't have it. I was very lucky. But then in late November of 2022, I did get it. And I've not been right since. I got really ill on the way up to Jude's, as you know, I think from last time. And that illness culminated me really hurting my ribs and all my muscles in my rib cage, my intercostal muscles. And I was kind of limping along. I got some antibiotics and that helped and, helped me get better. But I was still left with this kind of after cough, which I was advised would take a while. I mean, there was an A&E trip involved because I couldn't breathe at one point and the pain was so extreme. Chest x-rays, all that sort of thing. And I was advised in the end that actually I now have a post-viral cough, basically, that will clear up on its own. And the rib pain will stop a couple of weeks after the cough stops. So I thought, okay, so I've got maybe another couple of weeks to go. We're all right, we can do this. And then Saturday, the 11th of February rolled around, which lots of you know would have been my daughter's 5th birthday. And I was up, I was going to have a lie in, but I thought, no, I'll get up and do things, be virtuous. So I got up and was pottering around in the kitchen, and I sneezed. And oh my gosh, oh my gosh, it hurt so much. There was an audible crack. And because it was something that was happening inside my body, I heard it kind of inside my ears as well as like my ears hearing it from outside. I felt sick, I saw stars. I didn't think you could see stars outside of the movies, but apparently you can. Apparently you can. And the pain was just phenomenal. My husband obviously needed to go to work the following week. And so we put out an SOS to my in-laws, can you come up and help for a few days? Because Gemma's buggered, basically. She's stuffed. And they couldn't, but what we did was kind of like a prisoner exchange, hostage exchange. So we met near Stonehenge, and so Mr. Midnight took myself and Robin and Magnus down to the halfway point, and my in-laws took us the rest of the way, and we stayed there for a week, with the idea of being to let me rest and recover. Now this is great. Daytimes were not too bad. However, Robin's teeth decided that this was the week that four molars were going to come through at once at the same time. He could not sleep. He was screaming. He was so unhappy. I think it was the first night actually. By 4 o'clock in the morning, I went and got my in-laws. I was like, I can't, I need help. I really need help. Was it the second night? It might have been the second night, that one. What was the first night? I don't know. Either way. And my mother-in-law couldn't get him down either. He just needed to be held. He would sleep on the bed beside us, but not in his own bed. And we just needed to do what he needed to do. But I stumbled into bed and got like an hour's kip at that point. And it kind of went like that for most of the week. Very little sleep, fighting bedtimes. I couldn't get him down until 8:30 any night, and his bedtime's always been in 6:30, 7. I think it was one night where he slept well. And I think it might have been the first night or the second night, whichever one it was, the other one, I found myself flat on my back when I woke up, and I couldn't breathe. There was this kind of bubbling going through my chest and crackling when I tried to breathe, and I couldn't take proper breaths because the pain was just so intense. I couldn't get up. I was flat on my back. I couldn't get myself up because the pain was so bad. So I had to actually ask my stepbrother-in-law to come and help me out of bed, which was super embarrassing. And then to lift Robin up for me. And then I did the 111 online service just to see if there was any advice, because I know there's nothing really you can do for ribs, broken ribs. I just thought, is there anything I've missed? And they said, oh, would you like a nurse call back? And I thought, well, do you know what? Actually, speaking to a human about this would be really good. So I got the practitioner call back, and she was like, yeah, we're going to send you an ambulance. I'm like, oh. And I said, well, hang on, we're only 5 minutes away from the hospital, here from Torquay Hospital. If I can get a lift, would that would be better, wouldn't it? And she said, well, if you're happy to do that, that's fine. I'll give you an arrival time for A&E. So there I was in A&E again. My mother-in-law was amazing. She just dropped everything, and we were out the door within 10 minutes with Robin, dropped me at the hospital, then took Robin home. And the hospital was amazing. So gave me morphine, which was great. Made me feel really weird, but the pain at least subsided. And chest x-rays and blood work and and ECGs, and they checked everything. And the good news was I no longer had an infection. My infection markers were down, but my inflammation markers were up. And they were like, we can't always see a fractured rib on an x-ray. And to be honest, we're more worried about what's going on in your chest cavity. But you haven't got a pneumothorax. You have pretty much 100% fractured that rib. And it's just going to be a case of time. So yes, but so the week was great, and I will share more about the week in a special little vlog that I've got coming later. Just going to keep you on those cliffhangers. And yeah, I got back on the Saturday, the following Saturday, and I have got no doubt that I would not have been as well recovered as I was. I was still really tired, still really sore. Then this Tuesday, just gone, my glands came up. I couldn't swallow, I couldn't talk. it felt like there were razor blades being dragged down my throat, and I was like, oh no. And then my sinuses went, and my ears feel like there's red hot knitting needles being stuck in them. I have lurched straight into the next infection. And it's been a thing. It's been exhausting, and my head's all over the place. And Robin has had a few good nights, or good-ish nights, and then last night, no, he was awake screaming all night, and he kept trying to pull his pyjama bottoms off, and I did take them off him in the end, but it was dark, so I couldn't really see what was going on. And we've put it down to teething, and he did settle, but only on us. So again, we didn't sleep. I got a couple of hours in the morning because by 3 o'clock in the morning, I was coughing so much that I was throwing up. That's how bad the cough has been. And so obviously both sides are now really aggravated. This side is really hurting as I'm coughing now, where it's only been that side before. And so I said to my husband, I'm going to be in serious trouble if I don't get a little bit of sleep. Bless him, he let me have like 4 hours, which was really lovely. 4 hours sleep, I felt like a new woman. But he just won't settle, and I think he's gone up for a nap now. And so got cut off just at the end. Basically, long story sideways, I've lurched straight into the next infection. It's now hurting on this side. And then Robin, I think I was saying about Robin not sleeping. This morning I discovered some really raw patches on the backs of his knees and in his armpits. And so we took him to the out-of-hours GP at A&E, which instead of the things we were meant to be doing today, like getting him measured for new shoes and picking up a playpen so that I can have him more easily at work. And the doctor diagnosed, it was the A&E doctor we ended up seeing, but the doctor diagnosed a bad eczema flare-up as a result of teething and of viral infection. Bless his heart. So then we were chasing around Maidstone trying to find a chemist that had the prescription, and nowhere does. It's Sunday, so we have to try again tomorrow. And yeah, so that's what it's been about basically. It's been work, it's been illness, it's been teething, it's been all this other stuff going on behind the scenes. And I say I've got a new little vlog for you next week about our time in Devon and some exciting things going on there. But yeah, the last thing I want to talk to you about is our make along. 2323 make along. So on the 2nd of March 2023, which is Thursday coming, make along be, and I'm going to run it probably, I don't know, I might run it just till the end of the year. I don't know. I mean, it's just for fun. There are no prizes, but the idea is that we are promoting designs that haven't had much airtime yet, or designers that haven't had much airtime yet that we think are worthy. So if you've got like a designer friend, for example, that's just starting out, this might be a great time to you know, cast something on by them and shout them out. I mean, not that my little podcast will do much, but there's nearly 500 of you here, so that's pretty good, right? Yeah. So I've got no idea exactly how many whips I've got at the moment or how many finished objects I've got at the moment. I will give you an update on that next time. But for now, I'm going to wish you well. I'm not going to make any promises about when I'm coming back. March is really busy for me. Next weekend, I'm working a weekend because it's the antiques market at work. Well, it's not at the antiques market at work. The town that my shop is in, the shop I work at is in, has the antiques market. So I'm teaching all day on the Sunday as well as the Saturday. And then the following weekend, I'm just going to spend some time with my family, because the weekend after that, are you ready? East Anglia. I got too excited. The weekend after that is East Anglia Yarn Festival, and the yarn dispensary is vending. And yeah, I've got to dye some yarn for it as well, because I'm wholesaling with them and they need their order. So yeah, and I will be away from the Friday through to the Monday. So that's a long time to be off. And yeah, so there probably won't be a podcast until the end of March, and it will be my vlog of East Anglia Yarn Festival, which I think I will put on this channel, even though it's a yarn dispensary thing. The yarn dispensary does have a channel, but we haven't done anything with it for ages. And yeah, so I thought I'll just do that. So I mean, it probably will be like monthly at the moment, the podcast. But yeah, when my little vlog goes up in the week, hopefully that'll explain a bit more about it. So yeah, join in with the hashtag 2323Mel. There is a Discord group now. I'm not active on Ravelry at all anymore. The podcast group just is silent. So I thought we'd try Discord. So if you're interested in that, drop me a message via Instagram or Facebook, and yeah, I'll give you a login link to sign up to our Discord. But yeah, so what else can I talk about? I've been reading because Robin's not sleeping. I'm reading at night again. I've been reading, finished James Patterson. No, I'm lying to you. I watched James Patterson with my in-laws. It was really good, called Kiss the Girls. Morgan Freeman played Alex Cross, and Morgan Freeman could play a bin bag and do it brilliantly, frankly. It would be an amazing film. Yeah, so I finished 2 Kay Scarpetta books by Patricia Cornwell, because it's great, you know, reading fodder in the middle of the night with a screaming baby. Let's read about serial killers and autopsies and things. But yeah, that's what I'm reading. What we're watching, we've just watched this amazing show called Physical 100. It's a Korean program, and basically it's a physical fitness competition, and it's pseudoscientific. The idea is finding the perfect body. And what really struck us, I mean, we put it on and we thought, this is going to be a bit cringe. Wow, it's amazing. But the thing that stands out for me most is the sportsmanship. I mean, I realise it's subtitled and dubbed, so we're not getting the exact translations or the exact inflections of things. But they are so respectful of one another, even though they're competing against one another. They cheer each other on. They thank each other for the opportunity to compete. You know, they don't say like, thank you for beating me, but they were like, it was an honour to play you. And the whole thing is focused about it being fun and what a privilege it was. And that really blew our minds. It was a bit weird because we were watching it as it came out. So there were 2 new episodes every Tuesday. And we've been late to every party recently. Not as late as my aunt Happy Valley, by the way. Hi, Linz. I haven't watched it at all, so I'm even later, don't worry. We found ourselves having that excitement of waiting for the next episode again. If you've got Netflix, would highly recommend a watch. It's so interesting. And also what these people can do, these athletes can do, is just mind-boggling. We very quickly we did end up with a few favourites that we were cheering on. And the final, oh my gosh, the final. Definitely worth a watch. And now, late to the party, we just started Squid Game last night. Quite sinister. Yeah, that's it really. That's it. So hopefully when I see you in a month's time, I think it probably will be a month. Hopefully when I see you, I will have a few more finished objects for you, but do follow me on Instagram if you don't already. With regards to the diary's remaining shut for now. I will be hopefully launching my advent calendar for this year in May. Go a bit later this time, have a few fewer instalments because it was a little bit of a headache just doing all the admin for it. And I know that my life is going to get very, very busy and chaotic this year. And I just want to make sure that I can do things to the level that I want to. And give customer service of a good quality. And now I've got to go and Google how much a new tripod is, because I was trying to put my phone on my tripod stand just now and snapped the top off. So you are balanced precariously, which is why the angle is weird. And actually I'm probably at the bottom of the screen. You can probably only see my forehead. But there we go. Oh gosh, I want to cast on all the things. Penrose Knits, Laura, she's just released another gorgeous, it's the Eclair, I think, with bobbles. Oh my god, I want that sweater. And Kadri has released another 2 as well. I want all the sweaters. Anyway, the year of making all the things, who knows? I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.